This is Darla LeDoux. I'm here with Ashlie Woods. Ashlie's our lead coach here at Team Sourced and director of our business division. And we are having some conversations about shifting the field because we're celebrating the launch of our audiobook. Yay, I'm so excited. It's my voice on the audio, so I hope you enjoy it. We want to talk about magic today. And what do we mean by magic, and how knowing about your magic and where your magic goes can actually help you market, sell, and deliver deep transformational work more effectively.
Yeah.
And lighter, right?
Yes. More fun.
Yeah. So your magic is your inner knowing, or the way Source wants to work with and through you to create transformation in the world. Like, we're all about elevating the consciousness on the planet.
Yep.
And this is how we do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk a little bit about, like, what difference has it made as either you or clients have started to own this magical way that they know how to help their clients?
Well, I immediately think of one client who was doing a lot of unnecessary preparation for her work.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot.
It does happen a lot, actually. Now I say that, I can think of a handful of other clients that kind of fall in that same category. So it's like, before really owning how their knowing works and even the timing of how it works for them, there was a lot of unnecessary preparing and outlining and worrying that was going into her presentations. And what she discovered through the process of really tuning in and getting familiar with her magic was that some of that preparation was actually hindering her. It's like she was preparing herself out of her magic. But when she got how it worked for her and how it worked reliably for her in the right conditions, she could just get responsible for the conditions being present, like the integrity of the space that allows for that magic. And that's all she needed. So got a lot lighter, got a lot more fun. I remember this specific client, Ashlie, you're not gonna believe, like, I just held my first VIP day and I did it with like 3 bullet points and intention. And she was just so excited at how easy and fun and light it was, and how impactful it was for her client.
Yeah, speaking of like the magic, making it lighter, I'm guessing your client had expression magic.
Yes.
And we have a quiz, by the way, where you can get this. I'm sure it's below this video somewhere.
Oh, hello.
Reese agrees. She would like to take the quiz. We have our magical sidekick here. I'm also thinking about a client with compassion magic. So compassion magic is like this holding a space of non-judgment, of pure love, where the client steps in and learns and becomes aware of their judgments that are in the way of them loving and accepting themselves.
Yeah.
Now that sounds, kind of esoteric, and it's hard to talk about. But here's what you want to know: as a compassion magician, a lot of the extra stuff that you might think you need to teach, right, is actually getting in the way.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of compassion magic, and I have been the queen of PowerPoint slides, right? And over time, hosting retreats, I learned the more content I have, the less transformation happens. Because it's this space of presencing and witnessing that actually creates the shifts for a compassion magician.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's 6 different types of magics, and they're all different. But if you can really design around them, and so that your magic is showing up in the right place, it makes so much lighter, right? It makes it simpler. There's less doing, more being, in all
more
the cases.
potency. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's understanding how your magic works, and then as you've said a time or two, it's like knowing where to put it.
Yes.
Like, when's the time to lean into your magic, unleash it, and let it go, And when's the time to, like, that the client wouldn't even be able to hear what you were saying?
Yes.
So you should wait. And there's a different conversation to have.
Yes. Yes. So we're doing these videos as celebration of the audiobook, but we actually are doing it also to launch our event, which is coming up in November, Shift the Field Live. And in this event, we have an entire day dedicated to this conversation about where does your magic go?
Yeah.
Where does your magic go, right? There's a structure to transformation. We call it the anatomy of a transformation. And there's a place within the structure where you really want to bring that full potency of your magic forward. And then there's a place where people tend to bring it, where it actually does a disservice, to Ashley's point, where it's like, whoa. And I always like to use the example of, if you have a friend who always seems to date the same type of people.
Because it's a good example.
And you can see it, you're like, okay, I know exactly why this didn't work. But they're not actually interested because they're getting something out of this process of dating the same type of people.
That's right.
Right? They're not committed to seeing this energy that's hidden from their view.
Yep.
And you go, right? And you start telling them, it's probably not going to go really well.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Well, and we've all been on the receiving end of that, right? Unsolicited coaching or unsolicited magic is total noise.
Yes.
You know, and if we're not really open to receiving it, it feels like someone's putting something on you. Right?
Yeah.
And this is often
or trying to fix you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you tighten and close even more. You really can't hear what they're saying, right? Because I didn't ask you for that.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then as the person giving it, you know it's gold and they're not receptive. And then it starts to feel kind of dirty.
Yep.
Like the energy exchange is off.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have this magic. Maybe you just know the words, you can see the patterns, you can see the possibilities. Like it comes through and you feel it in your body. You feel the
sensation, you pick up on the vibe, you can see it, right? You hold a space that's like loving and transformational in and of itself.
Yeah. And then if people receive that, but they're not committed, it's actually going to turn them off. Or it's going to drain you.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like with the compassion magic, for example, this would be the person where it's like, oh, people just tell me things, right? They just like come into your space and they feel better and they say all the things and they feel loved, and then they leave and you feel drained because there wasn't actually a clear agreement that that's what we're doing here.
Right.
So a great way to look at, like, am I putting the magic in the right place, is to ask yourself, what are we actually doing here?
Yeah.
And if it's not clear between two humans what we're actually doing,
we're not
here,
in agreement for this magic exchange.
Yeah, something's probably off.
Yeah.
But then there is a place where it's like, bring on the magic.
Yeah.
And don't hold it back, because you actually have access to a knowing that's good, could save your clients so much time, effort, and energy, right? You're seeing a truth that they're not seeing.
Yeah.
And it's so valuable and so juicy when it's held in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. If you are a transformational leader, you're someone who's holding spaces to shift the field for people, you want this conversation. You want to understand your magic, how it works, and you want to understand where to put it, when to put it, and when to have a whole different conversation to open the space for it. Like, it's a vital aspect of being a potent leader.
Yeah. So we're spending an entire day on this in November at Shift the Field Live, and not just teaching, but helping you to actually experience the difference.
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
Yes,
you can find the information below this video, as well as grab the audiobook. It's on Audible, and it's right there waiting for you.
We'll see you at Shift the Field Live.